Hi, I'm Wes.
I'm Mark.
And this is Trash Talk.
Yay.
Now, today we're going to actually be talking about a game I wanted to really talk about for a while.
Yeah.
And the game is...
Project Spark.
Project Spark.
Alright, so this game is going to be on the Xbox One, as many of you know, but it will also be on the Xbox 360 and Windows something, and on
Windows
PC.
Oh, but we do need to preface this by saying that for this episode, this is another E3 game. So it was one we wanted to do for the first arc of Trash Talk, but never got around to doing. So for this episode, we're going to revert back to that episode system.
That arc.
That system of how we run our episode. So.
Well, anyway, this game looks really freaking cool. Pretty much the deal with Project Spark is that there's no like singular story. There's no story behind this game because you get to create your own story with this game. And pretty much it didn't start from character creation like most other games, like Skyrim, where you get to create your own character and all that. This game, you create everything. Like Little Big Planet 2 and Minecraft, you get to create your own worlds and all that. But this one offers even more specific controls for you to use. Like, you get to create the landscape for your game. You get to create your landscape, which you can choose mountainous region, flat region, or something like that.
Yeah.
And you can also choose between, as the video shows on YouTube, you can also create, along with that, like, little detail, you get to decide whether it becomes like a desert, an Arctic area, or a woodland area.
Like the region specifically.
Good. Now let's add some texture. Show me the Arctic. Maybe woodlands. Alright.
And you can also design it to your time of day, whether a day or night.
That's not the coolest thing. Not only can you pick for your world, your area, like your level, where, like, either it be day or night, but you can choose specifically what time of day or time of night you want it.
Evening. Day. 4 o'clock. Perfect.
And that's amazing, really.
That is really amazing. And this is an Xbox One game, people. The one that was so badly criticized, like, oh, Xbox One is not going to be as good as PS4. Well, hopefully this game will change a lot of people's minds because I'm excited for this game.
I'm excited too.
And not only do you get to create, and then after you do once you create your main map, you can tweak it to where you can, like, design other stuff, like individual mountain passes, moats, whatever you want. And then you finally get to create your character, or Spark as they're called, and they pretty much drop down
into the game.
Into the game, in which you can decide whether where your home base would be.
Yeah.
Whether it's a tavern or a village, and all that. And not only that, you can also create other things like a lot of, you can create like a lot of stuff, and then not only that, you get to decide what enemies you want to choose from.
Oh yeah, there's different kinds of enemies. I don't know how many. They just showed off a couple in like one of the trailers, or presentations, really, not even a trailer.
In which you can choose between, and the 3 choices. I remember the 3 choices. There were 3 choices. I was between trolls, squirrels.
Squirrels.
Squirrels or goblins, and they chose goblins in that.
Step 3, the enemy. Now we need some bad guys to attack this village. Goblin camp.
And another cool feature about it is after you create your little world, like a friend could go on can copy your map. It goes online.
Yeah.
Your friend can choose to copy your map and then do their own tweaking to it to create an even bigger adventure deal.
That's gonna be one of the coolest things. So, for example, if he makes like a woodland or desert level, and does whatever he wants with it, and it's his. And say I wanted, and then he shares it or something, or I just happen to come across it. Like if we're connected online, I can save his map onto mine, and a copy, and then I can tweak it, and I can do my own changes and stuff to it, and that's
make
like
it bigger, better, and all that.
yeah, that's like one of the greatest things.
This game gives you a lot of control over what you can do.
Like the tiniest details, like even from placing, like I read there were like flowers on the ground for the grass, to like just where specifically you've got your mountains and like the moats that we're talking about and all that stuff. Like you really get a lot of freedom, and like there are games, not even just adventure games, but like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, those kinds of games, and there's like fighting games like Tekken and Street Fighter.
Where you have to kind of follow the specific guidelines on how to.
Well, I was gonna say it was customizing. Like to customize your characters or levels, you're really restricted to what they give you. But here, it's like not even. You get to create, and this is really good for creative people like myself. Yeah, or me.
For very creative people that want to make their own games, this is the game for you.
Yes.
And yeah, the graphics looks really good. It's a little bit cartoony,
but that's
it's really cool looking.
Yeah.
You get a lot, hopefully you get a lot of freedom with this game.
You can use the Xbox controller, or I didn't even look it up. The Smart Glass. I think it's like a tablet called Smart Glass. To be able to edit, to edit basically, like your world, your area, and it's just so you're gonna probably those are like it's not really like an add-on. It's just kind of like an accessory you can use, like the Smart Glass and everything. But it's really amazing. If we can take a moment to say, we ranked Xbox One very low. It was even above, or the Wii U was even above Xbox One, and obviously the PS4 is what's hailing right now. And we're filming this now that both those consoles, the PS4 and Xbox One, have been released. And pretty much what we've been saying is kind of showing, and what lots of other people have their own thoughts about, have been showing. PS4 is selling out left and right. Like, I've been trying to get my hands on it for a while now, and
so am I. I'm actually trying to get both consoles. And the thing about Xbox One is they're trying to use a lot of sweepstakes. Like you notice McDonald's has been, and you buy this and then you scratch it, you get a win a free Xbox One.
Yeah, I think Microsoft is pretty desperate to try and sell their console because, like,
but the thing is, they didn't really have to be.
Well, let me reiterate. What he's trying to say is how there's lots of commercializing that involves Xbox One. Like, buy this, you win an Xbox One. You can get a chance to win it.
I know Doritos is also doing that with the Xbox One.
Yeah, you don't see that with the PS4 anywhere because it's doing good naturally on its own without having to do that kind of selling out. It's just that's how naturally good it is, and
what really makes me sad is that they don't need to do that. It only they're showing off their games. Like this game, it just looks so good.
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about innovation, how you approach like the game or whatever you're trying to sell in a way that's going to benefit both you, because you're the content creator, and the consumer, the person who's going to want to buy it, who's going to be interested in it. It goes both ways. It cannot just be one, because that's how greedy you are, and how selfish you are. You have to be able to make it to where it benefits them and you, and that's where the innovation comes in. And Project Spark, you could even say metaphorically, I just came up with this right now. This is that spark that Microsoft needs right now. They need that innovation. I'm gonna go real quick back to the Xbox One reveal conference, because we've talked about that for that stuff. There's some videos on that we've done. How the PS4 and the way Sony approached that's the innovation and all that stuff. how it benefits the player and the people, the fans, as well as them. And Xbox was just focusing on what the console could, or Microsoft was focusing on what the Xbox could do, and what all that stuff. They weren't really thinking about the players or the fans that much until like the E3 conference came out, or they did that.
And technically, that's not a bad approach, showing what your system could do.
But when you put,
but the way it's not that bad. Its presentation could have been better, if only if they presented their thing before PlayStation did. Because the way PlayStation did it, Sony, how Sony advertised it, it solidified its sales pretty much from how they pretty much showed it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, it's not obviously it's not bad to say, oh, this is what it can do. But when
This is what it could
But
do.
when you put the entire focus of your presentation on that, look at the specs, look at the pixels, look at how good the graphics look at all the stuff you can do with it. I mean, okay, to an extent, that's cool, but
That's cool,
what about the
but
games,
we're gamers.
Yeah.
We don't care about the we don't really particularly care about what the console can do.
Because this is a
We
gaming
think that's kind
console.
of cool, but the whole point of a gaming console is partly for the gaming console, yeah, but it shouldn't be the main focus. It should be your games that you're showing off and how you're gonna show that.
And even I like to think, because this is what I've seen anyway. This is my personal thing. If you whatever your thoughts are your thoughts and my thoughts are mine. But that mentality for Microsoft is also kind of reflected in some of their games. Like, I would say like Halo. Just for example, don't blow up the video with comments, but Halo seems to be so like, oh, look what it can do, look at the new stuff, look at all the weapons, look at all the places you can jump around in and shoot people in and stuff. And it doesn't really innovate the player. It's just like, hey, it's Halo, you guys like Halo, here's some more Halo, I mean, like,
and that's not entirely wrong. It's just that with Halo,
if you don't have that soul.
Halo,
Really?
but they kind of also explained about their story, and the story was good for Halo 4. But most people, I guess it got channeled by the multiplayer a little bit.
It comes back to the soul factor and the innovation factor. If you don't have those two things, which Sony has an abundance of, you're gonna start losing people and really quickly. And that's kind of what Microsoft's been doing. Because look what they have to resort to sell their console, commercialism, and all that shit.
And they don't need to, because they have a game that shows their innovation.
Project Spark.
Exactly. This game is offering what so few games can dream of, and that is the chance to make your own story, to add individualism to what you create. It's not a game in which there's already a story set place, whether you like it or hate it. And pretty much, no, you get to make your own levels, your own story. And the coolest thing is that they can all be different.
Yeah.
And,
that's basically... So as I was saying, the metaphor here is that Project Spark is quite literally that spark that should... Like, how do I want to word that? Well, it's just a smidgen of what they're capable of what Microsoft
they're capable. And if they
capable
show
of.
more focus on that, and that was a really cool part in their Microsoft, in pretty much their E3 presentation. I liked that part.
Yeah.
And it was one of my favorite parts in either the PS4 or Xbox One presentations, because that's freaking cool.
Yeah.
But hopefully Microsoft will realize this.
Yeah.
Is that Project Spark might end up being, like, if it does promise all of that, then maybe that will help out the Xbox One.
Yeah, if they... And I have a feeling that if they were to have had that soul and that innovation throughout how they've presented themselves with the console and the other games and such, involving the player and the fans more, I think the Xbox One would have been a lot better and would have been selling a lot more and a lot better than it is now because, like I said, look what they've had to resort to. And I just think that if they had it just really, I mean, I can't stress it enough. Soul and innovation are the two things. And I didn't really say it in that sense. I didn't even really word it that way when I've talked about it before in like some of the other console war videos. But those are the two factors to really, like I was saying, pull the players and the people in to buy your stuff. Is not only just what it can do, but how you can be involved in it. And at first, Microsoft hasn't really been showing that. But with this one game, that's what we've been talking about, and that's what makes it so cool, you know. That's it's cool. If I do ever get an Xbox One, that's one of the games for sure I'm gonna end up getting. Is Project Spark. There is no release date on it at the moment because it's still in development, obviously, and this is gonna be a pretty huge project, so. I don't know. I mean, it's looking to be really good, you know?
Alright. Well, anyway, what are your expectations for it?
Well, real quick, I do feel there will be a story. Maybe, maybe a story mode. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. If there is one, I would hope it's cool. But, I don't know how that's going to work. Maybe there is no story mode. Maybe you do have to make like literally your own story mode, and that would be really freaking cool. That's innovation if I ever did see it. So I just hope that they do it right. You can see it's there. That innovation and the soul is there. To execute it when a demo or a beta or something is finally available for someone to play or for however that's going to work. I just hope that it's consistent, that they keep that. So when we do play it, like what we've been saying will show, you know. Mm-hmm. So my expectations are for it to be good because it looks good, and it just seems good, but we don't know if it's going to be good. So I'm just hoping that the controls are nice, simple to get a hang of, and just for it to be good.
Alright. Well, my expectations is that if they do have this, they might start off with a tutorial mode in which kind of shows you how to do everything.
Yeah.
And all that. And if you want to do some extra stuff, like just to make your story all that much cooler, they have an advanced tutorial modes.
Yeah.
And it would show you how to do individual, more complicated things with it.
That'd be cool.
And also, I hope that if it's truly where you can make your own story, I hope that you get to customize your character a little bit too, and also customize the enemies and how they look.
Yeah.
Hopefully, with a lot of choice and freedoms as we've been seeing with the landscapes and all that.
Yeah.
So hopefully they do that.
Oh, really quickly, I just want to throw that in there. I really like how when you can create the mountains and such, and they just kind of blow up from the ground like that.
Start with putting in a mountain to define our backdrop.
One of the most badass things is writing the landscape as it's kind of being created and making like a bridge of some sort.
I can morph the landscape, so I'll cover you from up here.
I just want to throw that in there. I think that's freaking awesome. That's just one of the coolest. You're surfing on land as it's being created in a bridge-like fashion. That's badass. Continue.
Well, like a badass earthbender.
Exactly. I don't know.
Like, I can see that in an Avatar, just like an earthbender going like.
Just bending the land and going along with.
Like, if the earthbenders had like an army and like the firebenders were just looking up and like, what is that? And then you just see like this whole mountain of soldiers descending upon them.
That'd be awesome. I'm sorry. I think that's awesome.
I'm a fan of earthbending.
Avatar.
Yes. Screw wind bending or fire bending.
Do you earthbend in your spare time? You said you're a fan of earthbending.
Yes, perhaps.
Okay,
That'd
so
be cool.
final verdict. I'll give mine first, because you gave yours last time. I give it a 5 out of 5, no doubt. Like I said, the innovation and the soul is there. That factor, those factors are up here. They're really high, and this is really what this is like the epitome of like the Xbox One era, like what it can do, what it can really do. In the sense, in the context of games, this is like the major thing. Like this is like.
Wait. Before you continue, I just had a really badass thought. Like, you know in the video where where you turn your rock friend into that giant robot
Oh yeah.
made out of rock? What I want to do, and if this like truly makes it so creative, I want to turn my little rock buddy into an earth dragon in which I could fly and shit.
Probably. Yeah, we didn't even touch on that. You can take other objects, because the way they're implementing this, we didn't even mention this. The way they implemented this deal of creating your own stuff, you can take objects like in the demo. They took a rock, and you can actually embed codes and type in input codes into certain objects to make it do things. So they turned a rock into a pet.
Take this rock, for instance. Its brain's empty, and Claude could go in and add behaviors line by line, but for now, we can make this rock become a pet with something we already built.
So the brain says, when the rock detects me, it'll move towards me and jump. Pretty simple. And just like that, I've made myself a new friend. Come on, little buddy, let's rock and roll.
Like, that's cool. I mean, you can do random shit like that, but just to be able to do that, that's cool. And that's really cool innovation and stuff. So you can literally, as the players, as the fans, you can take whatever you want and make whatever you want like with it, in a way. And that's awesome. He wants to make a dragon, apparently. So, like I was saying, though, freaking little spray thing. What I was saying was, the innovation's there for Microsoft. Like, they didn't show it with the console presentation or most of the other games that they had there, but for Project Spark, that factor was through the roof. Like, it was really high. And that just shows what they can do if they stop being so goddamn selfish with wanting the money and everything. And they just need a... That's like the Sony in them, I guess. Like, with the innovation and all that. So, they need to let that out more, because this is looking to be really freaking cool. So, 5 out of 5 for me. What's your verdict?
Alright. My verdict is going to be a little less than yours. It's going to be a 4.5 out of 5.
Really?
Because, like, I'm not sure. It looks really good, but I don't know if we're going to have all that much creativity in it yet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that is true, because if I get my if I get my freaking rock dragon and like able to fly it and all that, I'll give it a 5 out of 5 any day.
Oh my god.
That, and I wanted to turn a house into a pet.
Oh my
It'll be
god.
the best pet. Like
The house is grinding on the floor. What are you doing? I'm walking my pet house.
oh,
Do you have a
I'm walking my
problem with
house. I'm walking my house because you can go anywhere you want, and then once you get tired, just go in your house and have the house walk you. It's like a mobile home, but it doesn't need gas.
Oh my god.
And it can also be your best friend.
We're getting way out of hand here.
Alright, well, I'm Wes.
I'm Mark, and that's the end of this episode of Trash Talk. Stay tuned next time.
Microsoft, you better get me a pet house.
I want to see what the world makes. I want Project Spark.